Hey guys, welcome back to Nadir Audio. Today we're going to be taking a look at this CD. This is the Dracula soundtrack, composed by Philip Glass and recorded by Kronos Quartet in 1998. Now, this soundtrack was commissioned by Universal for the original 1931 film Dracula with Bela Lugosi. So before we delve into the CD, let's take a quick look at this DVD copy of the film itself. So, despite being a big fan of Dracula movies in general, including the original here with Bela Lugosi from 1931, and also being a big fan of Philip Glass and also Kronos Quartet, I had actually never heard of this version until about a year ago, and I think that's partially because I have an older VHS copy of this movie that predates the 1999 version. And as you can see here, I still have the ability to play VHS tapes here in my office. But I think it might also be because it sounds like it wasn't marketed too much when it came out, and it came out to somewhat mixed reviews. So I actually found out about it from a trailer on a horror movie VHS tape that I picked up from Goodwill for 25 cents. And being a big fan of everybody involved, decided to pick up this copy on Amazon, and I'm pretty sure you can still pick it up there. So one of the cool things about this DVD is that it does have the English version, and it also has the Spanish version that came out at the same time. So basically they filmed both versions using the same sets, but with different directors and different actors. So during the day they filmed the English version, and then at night they would film those same scenes for the Spanish version, and those are both available on this DVD, which is kind of nice. But for the English version in particular, you can come in here to the language settings and either use the original theatrical score, or you can select the new score by Philip Glass. So you know, the original score, there's not all that much to it. You know, in the beginning there's a little excerpt from Swan Lake, and then there's some music in various parts, but it's very sparingly used. And that wasn't so much an artistic decision as it was just something that was kind of common in the early days of sound movies. They didn't quite have the technology down, and so it might be difficult to hear what an actor was saying and at the same time have other background sounds or music, that sort of thing. So the new score is definitely different. You know, there's music in almost all of the scenes, and I do think in general, you know, they did a great job just sort of fitting the mood of the music to the movie, and it also is, you know, the way that it was instrumented, I think it sort of fits the time of the movie somewhat as well. But all that said, you know, for me, I kind of prefer the original. I think that the long silence is actually kind of enhances the dramatic effect and makes a lot of scenes more creepy, which is kind of cool, whereas I feel like the new score can be a little distracting. But I think any score would have done that, and just the way this was filmed. So I can't imagine somebody doing a better job, but you know, for the movie I still prefer the original. But I do really like the music, and so that piqued my interest enough to pick up the CD. So let's take a look at that. Alright guys, so here we have the CD. I have a very cool looking cover on here, which I think is appropriate to the music and the movie. And I think I had read that this actually was an alternate cover that was possibly going to be used for the DVD and VHS release, but then wasn't. But then they ended up using it on the CD. Now, that may not be the case, but I seem to have remembered reading something like that. But it's one of these nice, rather than being in a plastic jewel case, it's in this cool sort of cardboard fold-out. So we can open it up here, and here we have our CD, and see if I can focus in for you guys. There's a quote from Philip Glass talking about why he had decided to come up with a new score for it. And then there's just a lot of information about the recording itself. So it looks like it was recorded in August 1998 at Skywalker Sound in Marin County, which is cool. And we have our nice red CD here. So overall, I think it's a pretty it's a very good recording. So you can playing it here on this system in my listening room with the Sprout 100 and with the LS50s. It sounds pretty great. There's a nice sound stage. You can kind of hear where the instruments are. You get lots of nice little sounds of the instruments themselves and a little sense of the room and how that sounds. And I think it was very well done. And as for the music, it's, I listened to this whole thing in its entirety a few times when I first got it. I was really enjoying it. And then, of course, I set it aside to listen to other things. But, some of these melodies and sort of the recurring motifs that appear in this, I kept thinking of them over time, and so I'd want to go back to it. So I've been back to this a few times, and I think that it actually stands up very well as on its own, just as a singular piece of music. I think it does work as a soundtrack as well, but I don't think that like some soundtracks, it feels like they're missing something if you don't have the movie to go with them. Whereas I feel like this is very strong enough to stand on its own, and it's one of my, I have a lot of other Philip Glass stuff that I like, a lot of recordings, so I'll be sharing some of that stuff with you guys from my CD and vinyl collections. But this one, I think, was a bit of a surprise, and so that's why I, keep coming back to it. So it looks like we've got 26 tracks here, and they're all relatively short. They're designed to fit in specific scenes in the movie. I think the longest is about 4.5 minutes, but most of them are shorter than that. And then on the back here, we just have some more information about Kronos Quartet. Of course, we have 2 violins, a viola, and a cello. And it looks like this CD this particular version of it was released in 2016 on Orange Mountain Music. And I haven't checked in a while, but I'm pretty sure you can still pick this up on Amazon and maybe even through Music Direct and other places. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I recommend it. If it's something that you think you might be interested in, there's lots of places you can listen to a little bit online and see if it's for you. But yeah, for me, this one's definitely a winner. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.